everybody. My name is Mru Patel. I'm the co-founder of Better Exchange, serial entrepreneur, best-selling author, and also of Let's Beat Coronavirus.org. Without further ado, I will act as a panelist and moderator as well, because I know the exchange business will last quite a few years. I will give everyone just 1 minute, very quickly, introduce yourself and your company without going into too much advertising, so we can get down to the meat of this, okay? Go for it, Marius. You can go first.
Okay, thank you, Mru. I am Marius Mora. I am from LDV Crypto Bank, a Romanian-based exchange, and we have a lot of innovations lately, but I think we will talk about them in the next few minutes. So,
thank you, Marius. Maria?
Hey guys, my name is Marius Stankevich. I'm head of business development for the crypto exchange EXMO. We've been 6 years in the market. We have 1.7 million users. Plenty of them are in Russia and Ukraine, but big volume users are in the EU and Asia. So that's basically it.
Great stuff. David, my man. Go for it.
Hey, Mru, thanks for having me, and hi to all the people who are watching us. As you might know, ZBX is the exchange located on the blockchain island of Malta. Sun, sea, yachts, and palm trees just in front of me, which is not very good for productivity. But we focus mostly on the serious side, on the institutional side of business, because we are regulated here in Malta, and it's quite onerous. And we're expanding also to the retail side, very strong in Asia, since we come from the ZB group, and looking forward to go big also in the Western markets.
Great stuff, David. Who have we got here? Is it Claudio? We don't see him. And Emmanuel, we don't see him. Okay, so I think it's just the four of us, right? Okay, let me kick it off with this paving the path to massive adoption for exchanges. For those of you who know me, I'm a big disruptor anyway, so I don't like to do the norm. So we're going to try and make this thing slightly more fun, okay? Do we have a yes?
Yes.
All right.
Please go ahead.
So the thing is, think there is no box, think there is no sky. Let's take it all the way to see what is so different in the blockchain, crypto, and then the exchange market, which is, let's stay within the subject, but then let's take it to a level where do you see this market in the next, and I don't say 10, 20 years because that's too long in our space. Let's say even 3 years, okay? So who'd like to kick off first, and then I'll add to that as well. Go for it, Marius.
We keep the order?
Yep, go for it if you want.
Okay. So, first of all, I'm a big fan of everything that means Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency world and blockchain. But I can say that I'm not a programmer, so I'm very connected with the people that enter into the market, because I was there, and I think I can understand what they need. So we must talk with them in benefits, not I don't know, technology, blockchain,
Correct.
and everything, because they don't understand very well.
Yeah. So where do you see it going, Marius? Where do you see it going in the next 3-4 years?
I see that every day. A lot of smart people, like young entrepreneurs, very, very nice and smart people, they listen every day about Bitcoin, and then they want to talk about, hear more about it. And it's important for us to educate them, to understand better what Bitcoins and blockchain means. And we cannot do that only in technological terms. We must talk with them in benefits, like you can.
Yeah, but where do you see the business going? You keep you stuck on that benefits and talking it simple. Get it? Where do you see the business going? Where do you see the vision going?
We will skip over 1 trillion market cap. This is my bet.
As a business, okay. David, let's take it to another level.
Look, I've been in this industry for long, and we can talk where the industry is going, but I'd rather focus on what we are actually doing today in the market.
What you're doing today, and where do you see it going in 3 years? Yeah.
So, as Spider-Man said, with great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
So obviously we're in this position now where we have one of the largest caps in Asia, and we can do something with the regulated markets. What do we do going forward? What Marius said as well, which is a very good point, is we need to give the benefits. So how are we actually doing it? We actually, within the last literally few weeks and months, we're working, for example, with some merchants to accept payments to buy lattes, to buy Rolexes, high expensive items and low expensive items. There are other people who are actually doing it as well. However, you cannot in here bypass regulation. You can provide your systems to buy a latte, but you always have to say, for example, within minimum thresholds. Otherwise, the regulator will come on you. We're not proposing to go around that route. We're saying work with a regulated exchange, whereby we do all the KYC, due diligence, source of funds for whenever you want to buy expensive items as well, so you don't have problems down the line, in order to make it work. For example, we'll be launching Forum Pay with our colleagues very soon as well. I was actually just yesterday speaking as well to the Maltese government about it, because when we say, we need solutions, the problem with the crypto industry, which is different than the financial side, which also, Mru, you know both very well, is that one doesn't really go hand in hand with the other. So we need to speak with both parties. So when we actually make it work, when we implement stuff in the daily lives, we don't find problems later on with the financial regulator, which will jump on the bandwagon. So what we're doing now, or what we've been doing actually for the last months, is speak to the people who will later down the line say, hey, you cannot do this. So we're speaking to the regulator, we're speaking to the government, because the government can actually help you push the agenda. For example, in Malta, I don't want to say controversial stuff, or actually, I'm sure you will like it, Mru.
Yeah, because I did it last time I was in Malta. I hit front page of the Times of Malta, I think.
I know you very well. So what we're doing is, if we're not the CCP here, which can take a decision and implement it across the board, but we're still a country whereby we said we are the blockchain island. If you go online, you'll see, what's happening in Malta? Is the blockchain dream dead? Well, something is actually happening. So the way we're working is that we're trying to launch projects on a national scale that take advantage of blockchain. People might not actually necessarily realize that there is blockchain in the background, but this works much better if you are given something in front of you whereby you are told that you are actually already using it, it's already enabled inside your mobile phone, then you will take a look at it. But for all the people in the street who say, there's this great technology called cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, they say, these people who launder money. That's the reality in the street. There's ignorance. So one of the things is, you, to some extent, shove it down people's throat by them not even realizing that they're using it through benefits, and then you tell them about it. So through actual means of merchant pays and other things that I will explain later to cut it short, on the institutional side, we're doing quite a bit. I think this is the way to go.
Maria, would you like to add on that?
I kind of continue the previous speaker because I believe that in the future, the bridge between fiat and crypto will be smoother, because we are, as a crypto fiat exchange, we experience right now kind of a challenge, because we have all these procedures like AML, KYC, and all these hard procedures for the normal users, because they used to trade crypto without any verification, and we lost a lot of clients due to this compliance. But when we come to the bank, it's much easier right now to get a bank account, to get a, even to connect to the payment system. So this bridge, if people really want to make it comfortable, to make it convenient to trade crypto with fiat money, to deposit with bank accounts and stuff, so this bridge should be supported by compliance and by regulation. And I believe that's like the most important thing, because lately, like every year is announced as a year of regulation, and nothing changed very much over the last, I don't know, even 5 years. And every year they're like, what is going on to happen next year? And regulation, and nothing happened.
Fully agree.
So I believe that's the future. Yeah.
So here's my take based on all you three guys and girls. Yes, regulation, and what David was alluding to last year at the Malta event, I actually said it to the minister that you guys are not a blockchain island. You don't even have any regulations that are good, and let alone you don't even accept blockchain. You don't accept even credit card on the high street. How can you call yourself a blockchain island? And it hit front page of the Maltese Times. And I said everyone's just messing around. That you give exchange licenses, yet you don't give banking for any of these exchanges, and you ask them to come there. So you are not a blockchain island. I said the same thing to the guys in Dubai. You call yourself the blockchain capital. Last year and even a few days ago, with a couple of colleagues that I have who are at the very high level of disrupting the Dubai blockchain market. And it is happening, but it's happening slowly. So my view, this KYC AML, and I'll be very radical, it is overrated. Okay, it's overrated in the sense that, you know, what do they really ask? They don't ask you more than proof of funds, proof of address, pretty much it. And make sure that you are not using money for terrorist related or drug related activities. I mean, this is 99.9% of the people. You can go in, as you said, open an online bank account, Maria, within 3 minutes, yet for crypto and exchanges, it's a nightmare. Okay, so what David was alluding to was working together with banks. So what we need is the banks and the government to really say, you know what, we have to do this and make it happen, otherwise we will die. So CBDC is one way that they've actually dipped their toe in it. We all know governments are slow, but we should work with them rather than against them, and we should work with banks rather than against them. Because without each other, in my view, the next 3 years will not be as big as Marius says with 1 trillion, because I think it should be more than 1 trillion. If you're trading dollars at 7 trillion a day, why not with digital currency? If you look around the world, you know, they can't even do simple payments within 2-3 days. Look at what's happening in America. They can't even get these concessions they promised people in days. So that's why they are thinking of CBDC and things along these lines. So in a radical way, my vision is exactly what, you know, David and Marius were alluding to make it simple. You know, when I was at Sun Microsystems, no one cared that how Java worked and how internet worked and how IPs and DNS was rerouted. You plug, you go, you get information. That's how our industry needs to be. Whether you're going to an exchange or a bank, you should be able to transact wherever seamlessly. So those are the people who will win. Let's take it to the next stage now, okay? What do you think are the big challenges in terms of people stopping this clear simplicity vision? And how do you think us as a group, as a community, can help get them over it to say, you know what, try and embrace what we are doing with blockchain and crypto and exchanges and being an all-in-one solution? How do you think we should address those guys as a challenge? Start with you again, Marius.
Okay. I think the most important thing for this is the source of information. Let's say you are a newbie, you are interested in this world, but you don't know a trustful source of information. So it's important for us, I think the serious players into the market, to be more present for the people out of the cryptocurrency world right now. So they must know that Mru or Dave or Marius is a trustful source of information. I think this is the most important thing. And I want to complete something that Dave said before. In order to bring cryptocurrency more closer to the mass adoption, this weekend, we implemented payment with crypto at Delia concert. Delia, it's one of the biggest star here in Romania, and he had in this she had in this weekend the first after pandemic concert when we implemented the payment with Bitcoin. So it was like a dream for us to see on all of these big screens Bitcoin and LDV and the people, I observed that people was very curious about that.
Yeah. So making it simple for people to, I mean, that's what we're all saying, you know, make it as a usable thing, as if they are spending their dollars or Romanian lei or euros or whatever. You got to make it simple as money. But what are the big challenges, Dave? What do you think are the big challenges, inhibitors? Because we all have
Sure.
some fantastic vision here.
Sure. So obviously, being in this position, we get approached by government entities who want their obviously finger in the pie. And by finger in the pie, it's obviously first is access to information. I'm not sure if you saw the recent article that was in the US that Coinbase is cooperating with the authorities, so giving
Yes,
the
yes, I
IRS
saw that. Absolutely.
the information. So look, we can beat around the bush until 2025 or for the next 15 years.
Yes,
But the reality is that a government entity wants to be in control
correct.
of any asset, right?
Correct.
So if they want to block it, they need to block it today. The problem with crypto, obviously, we know it, that once you have it in your wallet yourself, not even at an exchange, then you are in full control. They cannot repossess it from you or take it away, right?
Correct.
So that is why we need to first open the dialogue. There is no option 3 or option 4. There's 2 options. One, you being in full control, and the other side, the government being able to repossess your assets. And obviously they have their very legitimate reasons why they might want to step in. And there could be legitimate ones as well. So there's our 2 options. How do we bridge those together when one wants to go one way, one wants to go the other side? I think it's time for now to actually talk with governments, which obviously, as you know, our group is in Asia. They have a good rapport with the Chinese government, probably one of the only exchanges or groups that speaks to this CCP. We are also speaking here to other governments around the world, and the story, it's pretty much always the same group. How do we get access to client data? This is not something
It
we
is absolutely.
do easily want to budge on. You see what's
But do you think that's an
Coinbase.
inhibitor? Do you think that's the blocker? Because, you know, people want some control. People want some control of their money. You know, they've had it too long, too bad, where, you know, the money is in the hands of the bank who are making money on your money, or a REIT or a fund or a pension fund or a savings. You're not in control of your money. You know, what do you get? You get the odd statement here and there saying, oh, you made this much or you lost this much, but you're not in control. What this market has done has given people control to be, as I've called it, as my tagline is, be your own bank manager and be your own wealth manager, because you're not biased to any one specific product or service. So the inhibitor being government, I agree. But government's going into the CBDC kind of territory now with, you mentioned China, India, Germany, UK. Quite a lot of countries are doing this already. Do you think that's the first stepping stone for them to say, you know what, okay, we've accepted this. How do we now work close? I think this, how do we work out close? It's like dancing around the handbag, but we haven't gone to bed yet to agree how the marriage is going to happen.
I will take the initiative to propose one solution.
Go for it.
And a very specific one. So the people in the crypto sphere are going this way. Regulation wants to go the other way, right?
Correct. Correct.
And there is no way to bridge it completely. So I think regulation should be geared towards mostly the investments side of things, so that people do not get screwed over, excuse my French, when they go into the crypto industry, like what happened in 2017, 2018, right? But access to their cryptocurrencies or their assets, whatever they might be, remains still in their own fate, in their own hands. So
Yeah.
obviously we're not addressing their full concerns, but we're addressing the biggest concern in the industry, which is the big amount of scammers that there are in the industry. So what we're saying is, leave the people in control of their own wealth, but when they come to invest those assets, we regulate or make sure that the players in the industry are the right ones. So that is probably, if we had the system in place, the end of 2017, 18 wouldn't happen, because the crash occurred because everyone was investing in anything. People realized, obviously, they were not going to be actually delivering. And in fact, most of them did not deliver. So I think regulation should be towards the investments and the investments providers, but not necessarily on the end user. This is probably the biggest compromise I can find, but obviously this is just my opinion.
Yeah. Maria, what's it like in Russia?
Well, I can't see Russia because we are British exchange, and I could tell you about the experience about the FCA experience.
Okay, go for it.
FCA is a regulator in Britain, and we are compliant with them. We just applied for their registration as a crypto business, and I must say I was really surprised. First of all, they actually created a department about crypto. So they actually, I saw the vacancy on the market about a FCA officer who will be in charge of this crypto department, and they required actually the experience in crypto sphere. That is really rare because I've been I've talked to a lot of regulators in different countries, and they, as David said, they had nothing to do with crypto. They don't understand how they work. Actually, they don't understand the market. And FCA guys, they wanted to experience it. They wanted to understand us, and they didn't do much right now, but they they put this in practice, this AML 5th directive about, you probably know, and they wanted
I'm British.
they wanted to actually to defend the investors, to defend the clients, and to understand how fair this market is. So we actually had a few calls with them. They were super friendly. They asked us about how long will it take to fill in the application, and the application, I must say that it's crazy. I mean, it's not like the Malta license or Estonian license where like 3 pages, $1,000, you're done. But this is like a very sort of process.
FCA is known worldwide for that. Yeah, FCA
Exactly,
is known for that worldwide.
Yeah, but I like it. I mean, if we got this license or if we got this crypto registration, I could go to any bank and they will be like, that's the proof we are good. I mean, I like it. So I believe that FCA experience right now, currently for us, it was amazing, and we will definitely continue with that. And because we've been to Malta, we've talked to the regulators, we've been to Estonia, all these countries who are really famous for their, for their crypto world. Like you said, like Malta is a blockchain island, but not so much, because with this Malta license, you could not go to the bank because they just laugh at you. Correct. When you go to the bank with Estonian licenses, they just laugh at you. But when you go with the FCA regulation, they're like, yeah, of course. Here is bank. For example, we have the bank account at Bank Freak. You probably know that the primary bank of Kraken, and we got it because we are super compliant, and I like it.
Yeah, but Bank Freak. Sorry, Maria, but Bank Freak as well. And David knows me, I like to do radical stuff. Bank Freak really would take quite a lot of people. Bank Freak is not as, conservative as the big banks. They will take on because their fees are high. But that's besides the point. The point you are making here is a reputable license or accreditation like the FCA or the SEC are good. The other ones is noise level, is what you are saying. So I agree. So that is one of the inhibitors. But to get there, the point you are making, and I think everyone on this panel will agree, is by making it tough, hopefully the adoption and the mass adoption will become easier. So it's like jumping over a hurdle to make it the path smoother. I get that. Okay, so we've only got 5 minutes left. Let's try and do some wrap up in mass adoption. So I'd like to say, obviously, we've touched on banks and regulators. How can global, and we started doing this through an organization called GBO, Global Blockchain Organization, but there are so many out there just now. How can major groups be used to lobby these governments and banking organizations to say, you know what, let's agree to disagree, meaning people want control of their finances and that's all. Could we create something like a national global identity on the person which is on the blockchain, so you know that a Mru Patel or a Dave Pulis is the Dave Pulis or Mru Patel, and this is his history and it won't be rubbed off? And then use that as a mechanism for credibility, KYC, AML. Would something like that make a difference in this business? Quick,
that's my
1
dream.
minute.
That's my dream. That's just
that's my dream as well. I've been saying it for 3 years, but it's the regulators who are stopping it as well. Let's be honest. But do you think there needs to be a huge, and maybe we use VBS for this, a huge movement to say, why don't we lobby national governments, central banks, all these people to say, you know what, you've got to agree to disagree. Us as a community and the users, by the way, it's not us, it's the population. And sorry to bring it up, you get all these Muslim and Black Lives Matter movements. Until you do a revolution, sometimes you don't get the result. So we need to do a massive movement to say, this is what the community, this is what the entrepreneurs want. How do we make it happen? Do you think that would be a way of shaking it up and speeding the process? David, let's go with you first.
Yeah, look, you hit the nail on the head. It's not just to give the identity, so one verifiable identity to the end user, but as I said, with regards to the projects as well, to actually make sure that this
projects come in it by the fact of there are people involved in it as well. So the project's run by clean, proper people, right? Yeah. Anyway,
we are actually working on that. Literally within the next 5 weeks, we're launching a pre-sale of the credit rating agency, like when S&P screwed over everyone with the crisis in the United States when they were bundling up bonds as AAA rated, but they were junk bonds.
All junk.
We have a similar project that we're supporting because we believe in it, called EVAI, which is going to be doing a credit rating of projects, of exchanges, unfortunately not yet of individuals. So we know who the real players are. And actually it's a good project because it's using the blockchain technology as well to add to what we're doing. So I think the road to mass adoption is, as we said, to culminate everything, to work with the banks, the regulators and the government, and use blockchain technology like the project I just mentioned.
But Dave, what you are doing, what I'm saying, what you are doing is on an individual basis for Malta. What I'm talking about, if Malta does it, it's not going to, sorry to say it, it's not going to make a dent in the whole world's market. If a UK, US kind of people do it, then and China, India, where you've got billions of people in terms of reach, when they do it, I think that's when it will happen.
But what the projects I'm mentioning are not Maltese at all.
No, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, of course.
Need to collaborate into others.
It has to be on a global level. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So yeah, that you're right on that.
Let's try and wrap up. Okay, Marius, Jezic too.
My opinion is that we must step out a little bit of our bubble, because I still believe that we are in a bubble. In order to go to the mass adoption and all of this, we must have more leaders to step out of this bubble.
Okay, Maria?
I agreed, and we should be more structured, more regulated, as we already discussed that. So leaders, regulation, structure, and we will be there one day.
Great. Marius, Maria, Dave, great to see you, some of you, well, most of you again, and Maria, look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope it was fun as I enjoyed it.
It was.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Look forward
bro.
to seeing you all
Thanks
again.
for having me.